Hey, them cakes brought some pretty good prices up there yesterday.
Oh, it's done good. I'm glad. I'm
I
proud
got
of
tickled
that.
two old boys. They got in a bidding war over a little pancake. $25. First one sold for $5, and then they got in a bidding war on this one.
Wow. Well, that's good. That's a good cause for it.
It is.
I hate I missed it, but I called Jamie and said, I want to bid on one of them cakes. So, and I said, that one that was real good. We was there one day, and I said, man, that daggone cake is good. So when he told me I was that, I said, I want to bid on that. So,
Yeah. Well, when he was on phone and he was bidding on it, I said, who is it? He said, Michael Barrett. I said, oh, I can't tell him I can't bid again. I just couldn't help it.
oh, well, I called him. I said, tell him to bid 35.
No, I just couldn't help with you.
I said, but I was wondering, I said, yeah, tell him to bid 35, because as soon as you go say 35, I'm going to say 40.
No, I wasn't going to do that.
Give him a little bit of money.
Man, there's a table full of cakes there.
That's awesome. All right, y'all, we're talking a little bit. Welcome back to 18 Outdoors. This is Tony Myers, the legend, the hunting legend in Alabama. I mean, he's a very nice guy and very knowledgeable, and he's helped me out over the years, and he's helped out a lot of people. And we're just talking about they had an archery tournament over at McKay's Archery. If y'all don't know who that is, Dwight McKay's got an archery place in Moulton, Alabama, and they had a Catch a Dream tournament yesterday, and I had to work, so I bid on some cakes that they were auctioning off, and it was pretty funny. Tony was wanting to bid on one of them, but he seen I was bidding. He didn't want to mess me up. Hey, I'd have bid against him if he wanted to.
Yeah, he'd have bid
that
against
daggone cake
me.
is good now. So anyway, they had a great show, and I think they got over $3,500, something like that. You know, that's amazing. So
I didn't hear the total, but it was really good.
yeah, they've done good for them, and I appreciate Dwight, and we all appreciate Dwight and him doing that, and his family for doing that and spending their time and raising money for a good cause. But hey, y'all, hunting season
It's
is
here.
going close. I mean, I know you told me you're already out there
It's
fighting
that
chiggers.
time.
You're fighting chiggers already?
Well, believe it or not, from the day before yesterday, they got me pretty good, and I sprayed, so I don't know if my spray's over. I didn't shake it up good enough, but I will have a whole new can of permethrin.
Well, since you told
Quick.
me that, I'm gonna stop on my way home and get me some. So,
Yeah.
and you said that you seen a few acres, kind of spotty this year.
Acres, well, it's not a mass crop like year before last, but it's a whole lot better than last year. Wasn't any acres last year, but
Yeah.
what I've noticed, I try to take a month of August and hit my feed tree areas where I've had success over the years. I reckon I'm just a creature of habit.
Right.
Bad. So I'll go through my areas and take a section at a time, check this area and check a limestone runoff, see if I've noticed I don't know if the roots get down in the limestone rocks better and get more nutrients, but I've noticed the deer, they like them limestone runoffs on them acorns. So I guess it may make them a little better tasting, but you know how they are. You may go on one ridge and they come along feeding under every tree, and then you go to the next place and they walk under every tree to get to one tree.
Right.
So I like to hit my feed trees about now and then, go through and see it. Just basically take your binoculars and check your acorn trees, see what you. But what I noticed, you may have one white oak pretty loaded and a 4 or 5 around it, not many on it. So that's good news, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of rather be like that, like spotty or isolated trees. So, and you talk about that creature of habit thing. That's one thing I kind of preach whenever I do little seminars or talking, is learning your land and your areas where you're hunting, learning all this stuff where you can just go in and do a quick spot check without intruding too much, you know.
Exactly.
So, and like you say, you've learned that over the years. So,
Yeah, that comes with hunting an area for several years. It takes you usually on a new area. It's going to take you 2 or 3 years to get real familiar with it if you put your time in. Then once you learn it, you can basically go back every year and hit those areas that you know early season. And old deer gonna be hitting them acorns.
right. So, we're talking early season now. I know you've bow hunted a lot. Even when you were younger, you bow hunted a lot. You killed, how many deer do you think you?
I got 104 with my combine.
104. Now, y'all listen to this guy, 104 with the compact.
Now I used to be rack 'em, stack 'em.
Hey, well, we all went through that stage, so there's nothing wrong with that. So,
Yeah.
so y'all pay attention now. 104 under his belt with a bow, and we're talking about that. So, for early season, you're not as so you'll take a doe or whatever, and we kind of want to do this talking about, you know, for younger hunters or newer hunters, and boy, anybody really. So, what would you be your strategy specifically? So, I want to go out and give me a meat doe right now.
Yeah.
So, how would you go about doing that with early season?
What I like to do, I got areas that I've got a concentration of white oaks in there, and then mostly mostly these areas are like a Tennessee. When I hunt Tennessee, I've got a hedgerow about 40 yards wide, and I don't know why 9 out of 10 deer comes in there as young bucks and does, and I like to take me about 2 does pretty quick, so I'll hunt that area right there. I have messed up and shot a doe and watched a big 8-point run off too. Didn't know it was there. Looking behind me, and I messed up there. But most of the time I'll hunt an area like that. But if I know there's I've got two deer right now that I've got my eyes on that are
Big boys.
They're fully mature deer now. I will not shoot nothing in that area but them deer.
Right.
If I go to kill a doe, I'm gonna hunt where I don't feel like I'm pressuring a mature deer in that area.
I got the same feelings about that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to, because you only get, if you're lucky to get one chance at a big boy that year, you know, and that might not happen, but if you do something kind of like that and, you know, shoot a doe, put blood on the ground, or, you know, scent the area,
you
whatever it is.
don't want to take a chance. I got one deer that I've scouted the 2 deer that mainly I'd like to get a shot at that bow. The last 2 days, that's what I've done went through. Scouted just to see what the scenario looks like. Acorns is gonna be pretty good, and hopefully I can catch one of them on the pinch point. He's coming over a saddle, and I reckon he's something on the other land, on the other property, over the saddle, and he's coming over. And I noticed over early season, boy, when it's hot, them deer feed all night and they back in that bed before daylight. So I try not to. Even if I want to bow hunt him, I'll try not to hit him real hard in the mornings, especially close to a bedding area, because you gonna even 30 minutes, 45 minutes before daylight, you can bump that rascal. And once you bump him, it makes it almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I'll try to hit area like that in the evenings, catching him coming from bed and back to feeding.
You know, I've not killed a monster one. Well, I killed one good one, the bow that was during the rut. Early season, I've not had. It's just, especially on public land, like you say, it's. The evening is the best shot to me.
Oh yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
Morning, like you say, you're walking through in the dark. Cause some people will wait till daylight to ease in. That's hard for me to do. I want to try to get situated in there before.
Yeah.
But it's just, and if you bump them, most time you don't know it.
No,
they
you won't know
they'll
it.
slide out of there, won't blow or anything.
You'll see that old track a whole lot, but you won't see no hair high.
Yeah, but anyway. So when you're looking at them places like that, your access, I'm assuming, is going to be, how do you try to access something in the evening, and what will be your situation that you're going to try to hunt him?
That's where, like you said a while ago, learning your hunting areas is to me, is one of the most important things you can do. Your areas that you can slip in without being detected, and that's tough. That's tough on any deer. You know how that is. I mean, you can walk through there, and when you leave, he comes through there at night. They know you've been there. Mm-hmm. But what I try to do is even on a big deer early season, if I'm gonna hunt that big deer. Now let's say I've already harvested me a couple of does and put them in the freezer, and then I think, okay, I'm gonna win perfect. I'm gonna slip in there and hunt this big deer. I'll try my best, like in the evening, is. You don't want to walk through your area where he's coming through, because you know good as well as I do, he'll pick that scent trail up quick.
Right.
I'll try to access, and if I'm 9 out of 10 times sure that, okay, he's bedding here, I want to hunt him on this flat right here. It may be a little more trouble, but I'll try to go all the way around and come in on that access point where I don't leave any kind of scent whatsoever. And when I leave our area, I'll try to hit the same route and not leave more scent in there than I'm gonna slip in, slip out. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but that's the way I've always done it.
I ain't either, and I'm a true believer, like going in and out the same way.
Yeah, me too.
Because
me too.
If you go in and out 2 or 3 different ways, you've immediately multiplied your scent by 1,000 or more. You know, so it's just
the less scent you can leave. You know, it's the same. You got the same scenario. You got it early season, you got late season, but your tactic don't change. You still got to be scent control. You still got to play the game, especially on a mature deer. You got to play his game. You can't. That's why now I'm trying to hit my areas, and okay, I know those feed trees are looking good. They're gonna be ready to hunt. I may slip in, put a camera, and see what I got, and then slip that camera out after I see what I got, and then I like to leave it let's let it settle down 2 or 3 weeks before season, not even go back in there till I get ready to hunt.
Right.
But like you said, then you got doe holes. You can go in there and you can get by with a whole lot more on them nannies than you can a little
Right.
buck.
Yeah, it takes several times to run them plump out. But when you do bump them a couple times, those suckers come in that head.
Yes, sir. They get sharp. Them old does are about as sharp as a buck.
They'll scan them trees and stuff and figure out, hey, I know where that sucker's at. Okay, one of the situations we have, like on this public land that we hunt around here, it's kind of hilly and mountainous. It's a lot of times early season, being it hot, that them bucks will bed lower on a secondary point or something low, and they'll have the thermal coming down when it starts getting close to dark in the evening. Do you feel like they're going to, bucks, we're going to preach this, not all bucks are the same.
No,
They live that long for certain reasons. Would you prefer to I think a lot of times a buck will get up and start easing up, because a lot of the places are dark, there ain't many oak trees in there, so they'll ease up and go up a ridge to start feeding on the wild oaks, and sometimes I feel like they like them red oaks more, and they're catching the thermals coming to them. So would that be a strategy, like to be able to access from the bottom and just get up on the side above the bedding area and hope to catch him, and how often would you try that before you felt like you just need to go check another buck or do another buck?
That's kind of depends on your hunting area, really. If you got that area right there that's just like you described, sometimes that's tough. If them thermals is running in them bottoms and you get too close in there, he'll pick you up boy quicker. I mean, you know as well as I do, we all set up a tree and got snorted to death. I've noticed in a situation like that, it's just tough.
Yeah. Them
It's
big
tough.
old bucks, they get in them places early season where that thermal
Man, yeah.
is almost going down to them all the time, and if there's any kind of puff of wind, it'll do a swirl where they're at.
And if he's a mature deer, he learns that out. When he is 4 or 5 year old, that joker knows how to play in thermal.
Yeah.
He knows. He can pinpoint you way before you know he's there.
That's what makes it so tough, down here, up north it might be a little bit different to me, and that's very, like what trail camera stuff I do is they don't, them suckers, very minimum on the daylight movement. I'll see some velvet movement a little bit in daylight sometimes. After that, them suckers.
Exactly. And early season bow hunting, these big deer's tough. It's tough. You ain't gonna get many chances. Oh, there's one deer that I'm gonna, and I don't know why, but it's hit me pretty hard this year. I haven't killed a really good deer in several years with my bow, but I've got this one deer that I've been getting on X and studying these, which I know the area real well. I know what he's doing. But I'm gonna try my best to get on this big deer and get me a shot with a bow now. I may never lay eyes on him, but I'm gonna really, and I've been studying it hard. I'm not gonna hit him in the mornings because I think he's coming across that saddle, running that bench, and I believe he's hitting the bed. He's gonna hit the bedding area before daylight. But in the evening, my tactic is try to leave as less thin as I can, slip in there on that. There's a little bottleneck there, and there's a flat, and those acorns, man, it's not raining them, but it will be. Yeah. And those deer, it's a big old high mountain with a rock ledge, and it's a bench, and then it's a 100-yard area through there till you get to the edge of a field, and it's bottlenecking them through there. So I'm gonna try my best to see if I can't get on that rascal, but I'm gonna hunt him in the evenings mostly, trying to catch him from bedding to feeding instead of heading back to bed in the morning.
So you're thinking he's gonna come down from up to low?
He's skirting that old rocky ledge running a bench, and the area he's coming from is on different property, so I hadn't been over there. I don't know really, sure. But I do know he's bedding there, but it's not, there's no pressure on him over in that area. Right. So I think he's staying kind of low, but south wind, the way I'm planning on getting in there, and south wind, I can elude him maybe, and the thermal won't kill me in that spot. So
you're like we're talking about being warm, he's lower and he's using them thermals.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you're just trying to catch him coming around, going to a flat before they go to a field to eat.
Yeah. So. If you can get the wind right and keep the thermals in your favor, if you can stay on flat ground with him instead of up above him and them thermals running down to him, I think you're a lot better off.
Yeah. So you'll give him, how many shots do you think you're gonna give him? Like would you hunt him? So if you had that perfect wind, south wind, 3 days in a row, would you hunt him 2 or 3 days in a row?
I
Or?
would if I can get in there, but if I feel like if I feel like I'm pressuring him too much, I'll back off completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my early season stuff like that. I'll give them a couple shots, and I'll try to have 3 or 4 bucks or that's outside the main areas to do that, because I don't, like you say, the more you educate them, that just makes it that much tougher. So
yeah, if you can catch him early season, not pressured, and you know as well as I do, even not pressured, he's right there last light, more likely it's what you gonna catch. Never know though. Biggest deer I ever killed, I killed at 4:30 with a bow. Same scenario, caught him bedding to feeding. You just never know. You never know, but you know as well as I do, if you put a little too much early pressure on him, I don't like to pressure mature deer hard at all anyway, but you got to plan. You got to have more than a just early season plan. You got to think, okay, I just soon pop him that muzzle loader or that rifle if I can't get a chance at him with that bow, or I would.
Now, you give any trail camera information that helps you out on that, or you just?
Not yet. I'm fixing to. Like I said, I'm an old creature of habit. I went through and checked 2 days in a row. I've checked some areas, and I got a few more to check. And then I'm gonna set a camera probably here. I'm gonna say in a couple of weeks, and let them run for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll see what I got.
Now, when you do your setup, say your tree stand setup, so I have a certain way that I like doing. Like, I want to be however I set up is parallel to where I think the sucker's coming from.
Yeah.
But most times I'm kind of different. I always try to face my back to where I think it's coming from, because it just gives me more cover. Because they're I don't know about them big bucks. Whenever they come up on me, I don't see the sucker until they're
right there on you.
On me.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't hear that good. And then, so I feel like if I'm behind the tree, I've had more luck doing that. So which way would you do? You parallel, or you face crossways, or you facing down, watching to where you think it's coming from? Or?
No. Well, like this area I'm planning on hunting, I think he's gonna come from this way, coming around this bench. And I do like to see him coming if I can and get prepared before he gets there. But like you're saying, I don't mind him coming up from behind, because I'm like you, I can't hear real good, and I have to depend on my vision mostly. And I have looked around, there they are. I never heard nothing, but either way, either way. I like cover though, boy. I like that cover.
I want back cover is so important.
Yes, sir. Back cover. If you ain't got back cover and you sitting up there, you just better not breathe real hard.
Yeah, the front cover is not as important to me, because their depth perception is not as good. So if you've got something behind you good, pretty tight, limbs, leaves, whatever, it just blends you in. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I fully agree. Back cover is real important.
If you can play the sun with the sun's, helping us, that's.
It's just hard to catch everything just right. So you just have to take it and make the best of it. You gotta use your head though. You can't get silly, because them jokers don't give you many chances.
Now, you prefer a certain type of oak for bucks, say red oak versus white, or white versus red, or do you think
I'm most of the deer I've killed both seasons been on white oak. Yeah, chickapin.
Chickapin, kind of explain what that would look like if there's nobody.
It's a big tree, like your red oak's a dark oak. The leaves are, how do you describe a chickapin leaf? More of you know what a sawtooth looks like. They're more jagged on the edge, but you don't see a whole lot of them in areas.
No.
Most time when you find a chickapin, there's gonna be deer sign. There's gonna be deer sign under it. And but yeah, if you find 2 or 3 chickapin dropping in there, you're gonna have deer sign in there. It's good. Most time good enough to climb on. But I'm a white oak hunter. I like a white oak.
Now, when you climb, do you climb in amongst the acorns, or are you climbing like before you think you're getting to them, or how would you set up?
I like to climb where I can shoot the acorns, but don't climb right on top of them. I'm 30 yards out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get in there too tight and pressure, because I'm gonna tell you, Them rascals will be eating away, throw that head up and look straight up at you in a minute.
Yeah, I'm kind of like leaning towards staying away from them where I can shoot to them. So
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
some people that climb up the daggum tree.
Yeah.
That's risky to me, especially when you got to come down.
Yeah.
If they're there, and suckers might stay there, especially those. Sometimes they get to an area like that where they're gonna feed a while. Them suckers lay down there and everything else.
If you got another thing you think about, if you've got a good bedding area and you pretty well know your area and you got bedding trail going to that feeding, it wouldn't hurt to early season. I like to hunt the edge of that bedding area. I don't like to get as close. Try to stay as back from it, but if you can catch them between that bed and feeding area without bumping your bedding area, it's what I like to do. I may be PTRs from my main feed trees, but if they just a distinct bedding trail there, I'll climb that trail where you can watch the white oaks,
Yeah.
But main thing is try to get it where you can slip in and slip out without them deer detecting you. Because even them old does, once they detect you, buddy, and they pattern you going in and out of there, you know how they are.
One of the worst places my introduction to bow hunt was bow hunt Wheeler. I didn't know about Wheeler. And them dadgum does out there was so much pressure. Them suckers come through scanning them trees. And that was the hardest dadgum. My brother, we set up on a doe one time, we hunted her for 2 weeks. And every time she'd come out, we would move, but she'd always come out different. She'd already done heavy pegs and start blowing, stomping just out of bow range. My brother finally slung an arrow at her one day just for the heck of it. But
we had one on game plot 7 in Bankhead years ago, and they planted turnip greens out in the middle. She would run to the middle of the plot and look around and find you and sit there and eat them turnip greens and chew and watch you. I thought, you rascal, you.
That's funny how they do
Sharp, boy, sharp.
that. The oldest doe, a lot of people try to shoot them, but my thoughts on that is especially for fawns, that them old does teach them fawns a lot. Especially about predators and stuff, and your young bucks will learn a lot from them. So I don't really want to shoot one of them, because they're so smart. They learn so much too, and they'll help train the.
It's amazing how quick they learn from that old doe.
Yeah. So I told this story not too long ago. I watched a doe on a food plot. This was at Wolf Creek. I just caught the movement of something moving, and I see a ear every now and then. But it ended up being a doe circling the whole food plot with a fawn. And she would stop every 10 yards, stop and look, boy, have her ear just scanning and looking, smelling. And that fawn was just catching on, looking, doing the same thing. And that doe took her all the way around, or took that fawn all the way around till right before dark, before they come out and they were still out of range from it. But basically, she was teaching that fawn so much, doing that. So,
yeah. And they pick up quick.
Yeah, so it's amazing. So, boy,
I've been seeing a lot of fawns this time. I think we're going to have a good crop.
I noticed that we've had so much rain. It's been daggone rain and windy, and the greenery and the undergrowth stuff has boomed big time this year. So they had plenty of fawn cover. So they should have, I would think, a good crop. So.
Yeah. We've been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of does with singles around here. Is the only thing I hadn't seen a lot of doubles. I don't know unless last year was so.
Due to the less acorns, and we had a rough end of the winter, kind of rough for some days where they might have burnt a lot of.
They might have burnt a lot of calories and stuff, and not have had the food source for them to produce better. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
they learn, their bodies teach them or help them with that. If they have not had enough food in their bodies, in kind of a worse shape, because there was a lot of bucks that killed later that were skinny.
Yeah.
So they had to build their bodies back, and so their I guess whatever their genes are, whatever, or their body tells them, well, you can't have 2 fawns this year. Well, you got to get your body built up enough. You're going to support one. So So well, I'm looking forward to this season.
I am too. I
This daggum hot weather. It's been rough this year. I'm ready to feel that cool breeze and just get up and trade. I don't care if I see a deer or not.
That's the way I feel. I might look just get rid of the hot weather and give us some cool weather.
Do you do any persimmon hunting any, or you just?
Yeah. I haven't. I hadn't hunted early season, bow season in Tennessee. I've got 2 persimmon patches I'll hunt, but that's mostly. Well, one year, I tell you what, I had white oaks everywhere, and I was seeing does and little bucks, and wasn't seeing any. Moved to persimmons first evening. I shot 8 point on the persimmons. They were hitting persimmons instead of the acorns. I don't know why. But sometimes, if you hunt there and you see a lot of. Those and little ones, it don't hurt to change up to a different food source, because like I said, them bucks, I had 3 bucks come in that evening and shot a nice acorn.
Now, if you're looking, say if you're going to a new area and looking for like bucks on feeding trees, you know, to me it's kind of tough because I've noticed I killed a buck one year, kind of earlier season. He was around a wild oak. He just had his head down on the ground, like you could hear him sucking or sniffing. It sounded like, you know, I ended up killing him and we cut him open and he was swallowing them acorns whole.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're looking for a buck on an oak tree and he's swallowing their acorns whole, there's not going to be any
It's
bucks
sign
holes.
on it, yeah.
So the only sign you're going to look for is like big droppings, you know. Big old droppings to me is one of the, you know, I'll
That's
get
a
my hair
telltale
stand up,
sign,
you
yeah,
know, it's that
yeah.
sucker's, he's there for a reason.
Especially
you know,
if they clump together.
yeah,
that's-
that clump packed up, big, you know, deer dropping is
You
a
start
key.
seeing them old droppings the size of you, end of the size of that finger right there, you know doggone well that's a big deal.
Yeah. So that, but he, as far as leaving sign while he's eating there, it ain't as much. I don't think they like just sitting there concentrating on it too much.
I've seen the same thing, and I've seen them roll them in that mouth and the hull fall outside, you know, when you walk and they, but like you said, mostly your tracks, and if you start seeing a bunch of deer droppings around that tree, and you ain't gonna always see the hulls, cause them bucks they'll eat them whole, they'll swallow them
Suck them
whole.
whole and go bed down and bring them up all day and just, you know, they regurgitate them, bring them up and chew them then. So
Yeah.
every now and then, if you're still in bachelor groups around a feed tree area, you notice there'll be some rubs stuff fresh around that area and maybe a scraper too. So
Yeah, I think a buck too. If you got those concentrating on a food source, they'll come in there early and start marking that territory. They claim that doe group, especially them old young bucks. They'll claim that doe group for their own early, and they'll think, "Oh, I'll rip this tree and tell everybody this is mine," but it don't work that way.
no, that big one comes in there.
No.
Oh, we got a little puppy playing with a bone on the floor there, guarding it from another dog.
Dad, come here, give me that bone.
Oh wait, hey, Tony is an animal lover. He's got how many dogs y'all got?
We got 5.
Got 5 and mostly like Shih Tzu crosses or something.
Away from her.
He's grabbing the bone. She's gonna jump up there and get it. So like Shih Tzu like dogs. So.
Yeah, little Shih Tzus.
Yeah.
I call that a burning doodle. That's probably a little sooner. I don't know.
A little sooner.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They are babies.
So your wife's going on vacation.
She's going on vacation.
You can burn some woods up right now, can't you?
That's what I'm doing.
In between school hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been hitting these minerals from salt good too. I checked them. They've been wearing them out this hot weather.
Yeah, that's I guess there's any. Have you seen any hard-horned deer? Well, it ain't been quite. It ain't
No.
quite that time yet. So.
Everything I've seen's been velvet.
And you've got a couple of big boys.
Got a couple of good ones. Yeah, that made it from last year. I already knew they were there. I hadn't found them this year. They were already there and they made it. So
Okay.
hopefully I get a glimpse of one, much less, might not get a chance at him, but I'd like to at least get a glimpse of him.
Now, what time of the year? So ours opens October 1st around your area, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Well,
Tennessee be earlier. So you gonna start
I think
Tennessee
it's
first?
September 30th this year. Isn't it?
Are you gonna do the? Oh, Alabama, yeah, they're gonna start on a Saturday, so it's gonna be the 30th. So that's a good idea. I griped about them. There's no reason to take any days away from a hunter. You know, if opening day falls, say October 1st falls on a Monday, what's wrong with rolling it back to Saturday?
Right.
So give it,
Yeah.
the weekend, more people work days than they do weekends, so give them people an opportunity.
Yeah, give them working folks a chance
Yeah.
to get in there.
You still got your season limits. I mean, your normal person ain't gonna take what they don't need. So,
Right.
why,
Yeah.
don't take opportunity away from us because it falls on an odd day. So,
Right. Yeah.
So-
That's good they done that. Cause, back when we was working, we in there chomping at the bit from now that place. And, well, you still working. I'm retired, so.
yeah, I
And-
work,
and
I work
that's
2 weekends a month, so it might. But
Yeah.
but I want to. I know more people work days than everybody else. So.
Yeah,
I just
it's
assume,
good
and for kids too, younger ones, on Saturday, give them it to them,
Yeah.
it ain't hurting a thing, so.
No, it don't hurt a thing at all.
So, but so you're going to you'll start Tennessee, so are you doing that velvet hunt in Tennessee?
No, I don't do the velvet hunt. Too hot.
It's too hot, too
Too
bugs.
hot.
Yeah, so I know some people are that's fixing to come up within a week.
And
or so.
you know what, boy, they kill some beautiful
Yeah.
deer in Tennessee on that velvet hunt. I kind of wait till it, and early bow season up there's tough. It's hot, but
Yeah.
I try to get them get that meat in the freezer pretty early, and get that over with.
Get them air slums.
Man, I love that early thump. I don't care. Big old doe, a good eating doe. Here to where I thump that rib cage after a year. That's what I look forward to hear.
I haven't shot at a deer in I think 2-3 years now with my bow. Most of the time, where I hunt at now, you know, I don't hardly mess with any does much. I tell Kathy, you know, she's got free reign, whatever she wants to do. If she feels like shooting one, that's fine. But I try not. I'm definitely like we talking about with our main area. I don't want to mess it up too much. So.
Somebody at the cafe that day asked me, said, Tony, you still enjoy shooting a doe every day? I said, man, what are you talking about? I said, early bow season, I'm setting up about 3 and ain't killed a deer. And I said, I get plumb excited watching old big Nanny walk up there 20 yards with that bow. I said, yes, sir, I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I just ain't shot that many doe with a bow, really. I don't know. I get worried about shooting them because I'm waiting on that buck, you know, and I'm waiting on a bigger, you know, not a monster buck, but a good one, the bow. Because sometimes it's tough when a little 2.5-year-old 8-point comes out there and I think, golly, buck, you know, that's down there 7-8 yards, you know, scratching your head. Like
last year I was hunting and I had, my white oaks weren't dropping good at all in Tennessee. So, sawtooth dropping behind me and I'm sitting there and most of the deer, the way they run down below me right here. And I don't know how in the world this buck didn't smell me. But all I heard was an acorn pop. I said, my goodness gracious, I got a deer right here behind me, and I finally got eased around, and it was a 3.5-year-old beautiful rat, 8-point. I watched him a little bit, and I said, man, like you said, that's tough early season, because he was a pretty deer, but I didn't shoot him, I let him go. Maybe this year he'll be 4.5 and do the same thing.
Yeah. I'd have probably shot at him.
It
That's me,
my mind, because I'm gonna tell you, that's early season. You ain't shot one like that. I'm like you now. I'm not a full-blown dedicated trophy hunter. Every now and then, I like to pop one.
A 3.5-year-old with a bow that's my goal. You know, hey, you know, if he gets that close, I'm probably gonna shoot at him.
Well, this area is on private land, and got a little sanctuary next to me. They don't let anybody hunt, and that's where he's coming off of, so there's a good chance he can make it.
You got a little bit better control of that area then, kind of so.
And during the rut, he probably got popped, but you never know. You don't never know.
No, you don't know at all. But I mean, you know, Jamie is one of them too. Boy, he passes up stuff. I was like, golly, boy, it takes a lot to do that on public land. He passes up, you know. I shot one that he had passed up, you know. I said, I don't know. I said, he wasn't no monster rabbit with that big body and all that stuff, and he was older deer. I just can't do it. He's got a Pacific.
You know what? Hey, that's our God-given right. But hey, I look at it like this. Everybody, I've hunted and I've killed my share of deer in my lifetime, and don't get me wrong, I love to get my meat, and I love to hear that old doe's rib cage pop with that air, but. And there's areas that right now that if I'm hunting this area versus this area, and I know 80-acre farm, you got a 3.5-year-old, you ain't shot a deer. If you want to take him, take him. 2.5-year-old, if you want to take him, everybody's entitled to do.
All right.
And I'm proud for everybody. The way any way you decide to do it, brother, that's your tags, you use them. You know.
Right. Some of the happiest people you'll see is like my wife. Whenever she hasn't shot one in a couple of years, but it don't matter what she shoots, she's so dang happy.
Oh yeah.
And that makes you happy, you know. It's just.
Well, she appreciates the opportunity. You know.
She puts in so much work. You know, everybody puts in a lot of work. Most people do, and you know, if they're happy doing that, I don't care if she's spike, but whatever. I mean, if you're happy and you're using it, that's fine. Now, if you're just killing to be killing, that's a whole different thing.
I'm gonna tell you, if you just sit there and you hunt these trophy deer, they'll wear you down.
Yes.
Man, them jokers.
Let's go on public lands.
Yes, sir. That's a challenge. They'll wear you down, and you think, hey, this deer ain't killable. I've hunted them for 2 or 3 years and never lay eyes on the deer.
Yeah.
Never lay eyes.
Oh, that happens a lot. Some people, you know, are better at it than others, you know, about to see it. But to me, I've not had it where I can paddle one and say, I'm going to see him this year.
I don't think nobody's that good when it comes to mature whitetail. I think you finally get him. Thank you, Lord.
That's
Thank
exactly
you, Lord.
right. But it takes a lot of things to come together and be perfect for it to happen.
Yep.
And that sucker, like we was talking about earlier, a mature buck makes it past 4 or 4.5 and older. He's very limited on that daylight stuff. When he is daylight, most of the time that sucker's like a shadow movie.
He's turned into a professional survivalist. That's what he is.
That's a good term right there.
He is a professional survivalist.
Y'all remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially on public land, it's just a whole different animal. But that's why we do it, and that's why we enjoy it. And man, it's been great talking to you today, Tony. I really appreciate it.
I always enjoy it.
We're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I know you're gonna get it big, and y'all wait, you'll get it big.
I don't know about that, man, but I'm gonna enjoy it whether I do or not. You know, that's what I enjoy now. I get my meat. I like to find these big deer, hunt them on their ground. The challenge, man, the challenge is what I love about it. And you know what? If I don't kill him, I'm gonna have a ball trying.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And everybody like Jamie, there's several people around here that like talking to you. They'll see you through the week, you know, at the diner and stuff like that. And everybody's sharing their stories and experiences, and that's a lot of it too. Is you know, everybody, we're all kind of in the same. We're just a big family. So
Yeah.
and just keeping an eye with all this Facebook and all that stuff, you can communicate, you know, more.
Right.
Most time you don't see each other until maybe at the camp and somebody brings one big in the back of the truck. I love seeing them suckers in the back
Man,
of
I
the
do
truck.
too. I do too.
Oh man, it's just.
Yeah.
It's
The only
just,
problem with them old ones, you give them every chance in the world to ride in the back of that truck, and they just don't want to do it, do
yeah,
they?
burn up a lot of gas trying. Oh man. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I know you are too. And I appreciate it again. It's good seeing you, buddy.
You too,
Thanks a
brother.
lot. Hey, y'all.
Always enjoy it.
Yeah, y'all. I appreciate y'all watching again. So, got a little book update. You know, it's been this has been a passion of mine, or kind of a lifetime achievement, is getting this book wrote. But anyway, I'm a old school. I don't know if you're old school or what, but
Bad.
hardcover. I like hardcover books. They last longer and stuff like that. Well, I finally, you know, people gonna say, well, I've already bought a paperback. Well, just a few days ago, and they're available on Amazon as a hardcover. And they sent me some a few days ago. I mean, it's just if you wanted one, I'm just saying they're on Amazon. You know, it took a while, but it's pretty neat to have
That
this.
is neat.
You
I
know,
like
it's
it. I
just,
noticed that when you walked in.
So,
You know, Hallie took my book. Well, it's her book.
well, I'm going. This is yours right here. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah. So it's I got
I
to
started to
sign
say she got it in there on her shelf. She has her Michael Perry shelf.
Well,
And you and Kathy are her number one. I mean, I'm telling you, she's your number one fan. That girl loves y'all.
well, I appreciate that. That's part of why we're doing that.
Bill Jordan and Michael Waddell ain't got nothing on y'all.
well, I don't know about that, but anyway, that's part of why we do this stuff, is sharing, you know, the experiences and what we can for younger people, just help and whatever. So, but like I say, if y'all need a hardcover or want a hardcover book, you know, they're on Amazon now, so $25, I think what they are, just a little bit higher than the paperback, which is kind of surprising with the way things are going up nowadays. But anyway, they're available. We appreciate y'all watching. We're gonna let Tony get back to his day, and I gotta go get me some Promethean because I'm gonna try to hit the woods tomorrow.
I believe I'm gonna get me a new can too.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see y'all. Be safe, and hey, do it because you love it. See y'all.